Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch event. We already reached number 32, so which means we've done already 32 pitch events, bringing so many founders for the last 6 months. And we are very proud of it. So today we have another four great founders coming from all over, from Spain to Austria, Canada, and UK. And you can see in front of us who they are. So meet our founders, and we will start with our first founder, which is Simon, if I believe. Now, please, Simon Schmiederer, founder of Zone 14. Zone 14 is based in Vienna, Austria. We talk about sport tech, AI, computer vision, deep tech. And Simon is seeking 800,000 euro in a seed round. How's it going, Simon? You're muted.
Hi, Max. Yeah, nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Please, if you want to give an intro to yourself, and after, let's go straight to business and pitch.
Yeah, my name is Simon. I'm tuning in from Vienna, and I'm one of the co-founders of Zone 14, and I'm happy to pitch you what we're building here in Vienna. Yeah, so winning. Everybody loves winning, especially in football. Players love to win their duels and matches, coaches love to build winning teams, and betting providers love winning odds. And data is the key to getting the edge over the competition. Without it, you're either wrong or lucky, no matter if it's business or sports. We are Zone 14, and we are bringing team sports data to all of the football games. Demand for tracking and event data has never been higher. So why are there only stats from the highest leagues? It doesn't matter if you're a coach, federation, scout, or betting provider. Every pass, every shot is gathered manually through sports coding by armies of data journalists inside the stadium or in front of a screen. That is extremely time-consuming, expensive, and prone to human error, even in the Champions League. With the advances in AI and camera tech becoming better and better and more affordable, computer vision and machine learning give us the ability to extract game data directly from the video without any human correction. You just need a team of great minds and videos, a lot of videos from all kinds of pitches, to create the most robust algorithm that can track on any pitch and not only under elite level stadium conditions. For us, bringing an all-in-one video analysis solution to the clubs was the key to gather these tons of data needed. Together with 6 partner clubs, we developed the system using 4K camera system and trained our algorithm on the over 2,000 gathered videos and matches. Here you can see it in action, identifying players, assigning them IDs and teams, and even re-identifying them once they are lost without any human correction. My name is Simon. I'm an amateur footballer with nearly 10 years of experience in scaling sales and leading teams internationally. But every deep tech company's core asset are the developers and engineers. And I'm happy to have Lucas, a computer vision expert with 7+ years in machine learning, who has founded and exited the AI startup Predictify before and is leading our AI and product teams, as well as Toby, the go-to guy for building scalable hardware and serial founder as well. We have a team of experienced data scientists, pro footballers, and developers united by the goal of making the world a better place with the help of technology, starting with our biggest passion, football. Zone 14 Replay is sold as a highly scalable product as a service, starting at $139 per month, with the hardware included. But as our software is completely hardware agnostic, we can also serve on any other video system available. Additionally, we're just releasing up and cross-selling products to grow revenue per customer while also reducing acquisition costs. In the beginning, we mentioned that this data is the live source for all kinds of stakeholders in sports. In the future, data of all athletes will be available thanks to solutions like the one we are producing. And I don't think I have to explain the power of data to this audience. Player products, scouting data for big clubs, and event data for broadcasters are roads to explore. For now, we have identified sports betting as the biggest opportunity. Betting providers are currently not losing money in the top leagues, where they have floods of data, but in the small ones, where they have insufficient data, no TV coverage, or such bad data that they can't even offer the leagues, leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. We are confident Zone 14 is the missing link. we provide sports betting provider with the data and videos for their products for a fee per league, while at the same time delivering automated video analysis as well as team and player data to the clubs and coaches for a small fee or even free. The sports analytics market on the one side is growing fast with an annual growth rate of almost 23%, projected to be at 16.5 billion in 2030, and football being the driving factor of this growth. There, we're opening a completely new market segment. Competitors on the tracking side focus entirely on the elite market as their algorithms are trained on videos from the elite games and therefore can only work there. Competition in grassroots is focusing on live streaming and video, and if they have data that lack the accuracy our algorithms can provide. And we are not stopping at the analytics market. We are also tapping into the even huger market of sports betting as well. Both sports betting as well as the football industry in general have proven to be extremely robust against macroeconomics, as we saw, for example, in the 2008 financial crisis, which barely touched it. We're currently at over 80K in ARR and have the possibility to become break-even in December of 2024. But we are planning a Series A there to even grow faster and capture more market. So far, we raised our pre-seed round at 180K and 370K in state funding for our R&D. With the 800K we're looking for, we have a runway of 18 months to launch into the first data revenue stream of the betting data and to grow our revenue to 1.2 million ARR in 2024. We have already 300K committed from investors and are looking for partners with strong ties to the football or sports betting industry. Join our squad and let's bring tech to the grassroots of football.
Thank you, Simon. Very exciting. Let me make a couple of questions. The first one is, where do you see the best application in terms of football team and after we move to betting?
We're also exploring currently the area of scouting. So there is huge opportunity, not in Europe, but in very football enthusiastic markets like South America, Africa. We had already first quite promising talks to some federations there because they basically don't have any video or any technology that suits their needs. So for basically European scouts to have more efficient scouting possibilities in Africa or South America, you could install these kind of video systems, get the data, and they don't have to fly over to see the next Lionel Messi.
But this requires data sharing between the various teams, I suppose. How do they get collecting data from, for example, the next Leo Messi playing in Argentina?
Yeah, so basically, when we install our camera systems, we own the video and the data. The club has full possibilities to use it, but we can offer it at that price level that is that low because we're also allowed to monetize on the data and videos as well. So there is a few possibilities to go down. Either we make our own platform scouts can log into and watch the videos and data, or we could also work together with existing platforms like Scout.
So for each team is required to have your system on board.
If they want to track their players, they would have to need our system, yes.
They must create the ecosystem inside your system. In terms of betting, why a movie there?
Because if you look at the macro, like the market size, that's definitely one of the biggest markets currently touching this football data side, and they are really struggling to figure this problem out. So they have solved it for sports like tennis, where there's not a lot of players on the field, but they are nowhere near to solve it for football. And they're looking actively for solutions. So we have actually been approached by betting providers and investors in this area to look at that more closely.
So you started, and back to football, you started in Austria, and what's the next move? Are you going where?
Yeah, we basically started in Austria as a first incubator market, where our focus was on R&D, getting a lot of feedback from the coaches there, what they really needed. And next steps are currently going to Germany, as it's way bigger, but we have low entry barrier there because it's the same language and very similar culture. And we are also evaluating a few other markets in the CEE region, as they are currently don't have access to this kind of technologies as well. Yeah, and we have like the first customer now in Germany since like last week.
And the technology is owned by you?
Yes, yeah, we own all of the technology. All of the guys working on the algorithm are employees or founders.
Simon, thank you very much. Don't go. Stay with us because we are bringing you back very, very soon. And I want to welcome our second founder, which is Polo Villamil, founder of MMF Fast, based in Madrid, Spain, fashion, impact, sustainability brands. And Polo is seeking 1.5 million in a pre-serie A round. How's it going, Polo?
Hey Max, how's it going? Great being with you.
My pleasure, and thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an introduction and after go straight to LMMFS.
Sure. Well, I'm Polo Villamil. I'm the CEO and founder of Mona. I'm an ex-racing driver turned banker, then turned entrepreneur. And now we are working here in Madrid to make fashion a bit more circular and sustainable. Okay, so as you may know, fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world, and it faces great pressure to become more sustainable. The fact is that every year we buy more and more garments, which we end up using less and less. And what happens to these garments when they go out of fashion? Well, they go to die to a desert in Chile, such as this one. The industry needs to reduce its greenhouse emissions by 50% by 2030. And so far, the progress has been negative. The good news is that there is a way to cut the emissions by a third overnight. And this is by promoting a circular distribution model such as renting or resale. And that is our mission at Mona, to disrupt the fashion industry the way Uber, Spotify, and Airbnb have done by offering an on-demand service for fashion rental. We have built the leading fashion rental service in Spain with 400K ARR and positive EBITDA. But in order to really scale, what we need to do is we need bigger fashion brands to enter the rental space. And in talking with these brands, we have identified the biggest challenges they face in entering the rental space. The first is that they want to own the customer experience, to rent via their own channels rather than compete in a catalog against other brands as they would do within our website. They fear cannibalization. How do I construct a rental offer which can live alongside my existing sale business? And then the platforms, their IT platforms, are not prepared to offer an integrated rental service along with their sales service. Finally, there is no logistics provider right now for circular fashion in Europe currently. So all these challenges we've overcome ourselves, and we can harness our know-how and tech to help brands to construct a rental offer from scratch in less than 15 weeks. We call it Fashion as a Service, and it's a three-layer solution consisting of consulting. We help them develop a rental offer, which will complement the existing sale offer that they carry. Technology, we provide a complete CMS, OMS, CRM, payments integration with the client's platform. And then the logistics. We are the only rental logistics provider in Spain for circular fashion. We will stock and maintain your products, fulfill the orders, and deal with end-to-end logistics, cleaning, sanitizing, garment repair, reconditioning, and customer success. Our revenue model is typical SaaS. We will charge an upfront consulting and IT setup fee of around 50K, and then an annual 5,000 euro API maintenance fee. We also charge a fixed amount for every rental order that we process, which is in the region of 17 euros. In terms of competition, Castle is the market leader in the US, which provides pretty much the same services that we do. France and Lisi is working in France and does pretty much the same. And we are the leader here in Spain. And currently, we just landed our very first big client, which is Mango, which is one of Europe's biggest fashion brands with a turnover of 2.2 billion euros currently. We are actually also close to signing a second one and project to reach 17 clients by 2026, hitting 5 million euros in revenues by then. We are a team of 10 people with ample experience in areas such as finance, fashion, and operations. And we are looking to hire more people into our team, especially on the sales side, and to internalize our IT operations. For that, we're looking for a CTO, which we are in the process of selecting right now, and another dev. And for all these, we are raising 1.5 million euros, right, to develop our in-house IT team, as I said, and a B2B sales team, and to ramp up our logistics operations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paulo. You are doing something great, and I'm a big believer in circular economy because we need to lower as much as we can our footprint. But my question is not that in line with the revenue today. Many think that it's something that challenges the business more than giving more help in terms of acquiring more customers and having more revenue. At the end of the day, we all talk about impact, but there is very little that is delivered today, still must be. So my question is, how do you convince brands to get to your platform and selling through your service and renting, which is somehow a challenge of selling?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, these brands are very wary of cannibalizing their existing offer, the clients, their distribution models. And basically, our sales pitch is telling them that obviously rental doesn't work for every kind of garment. It only works for the garments which you use the less, and which are kind of more in terms of fashion or for more special occasions, really, right? And these items you can make more money by renting them than you can do with the actual sale, because by renting them, what you're actually doing is it's like you're selling the same item 7 to 10 times. Obviously, you're selling it at a smaller margin, but you're doing it over 7 transactions, and these 7 transactions eventually add up to a higher ROI than they would get with their legacy sales model. Also, you need much less production. I mean, you're using the same garment to cater 7 to 10 clients, so you're reducing your production by 70%, 80% maybe. So the ROI goes up a lot. Your impact footprint increases dramatically because you're reducing production overnight, really, which is what actually impacts your footprint. So as I said, it's not for everyone, it's not for every brand, it's not for every product, but it does make sense in a lot of products and for a lot of brands, and that's how we're pitching it.
Do you think one day big brands can do something similar? Or are they
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
it already?
definitely, Mango is one of the biggest brands, and they've decided that they want to explore this. There are new customers coming up, the customers which are much more conscious, and they understand the impact that their buying habits have and the day to day, and they're asking uh, to pay for experiences rather than to accumulate garments in their wardrobe. So the customer is changing, the world is changing, and brands need to adapt and change with them.
Well, how much technology is required to them to combine with your application and be very fast,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to logistics, because you are the one who handles logistics.
Yes, we do. I mean, logistic is something that we didn't want to get into really from the beginning, but we didn't find anyone which would do this logistics operation efficiently. I mean, at the end of the day, in order to make rental work, you need to reduce throughput times as much as you can. I mean, every item needs to be rented rather than in our warehouse. So we need to make the reconditioning, the cleaning, sanitizing operations as quick and efficient as possible. And in order to do that, we've developed our own proprietary IT platform, which permits us to do these operations efficiently. And what we're doing is we are licensing an API which will connect to the customer's e-commerce or in-store point of sale. And through that API, what we do is that we service them all the booking information of all the products. We have like the booking engine for a lot of products, and then we receive all the orders, and that way we're able to process them internally.
In terms of next move, now you started in Spain. You are
Yep.
pretty much the leader in Spain. And my question is, you have two big competitors just next door, which means France is the first one. If I remember, the other one is in Germany, if I'm right. And what's your value proposition? What you do better than this guy to move to France, to move to Germany, and to broader to all Europe?
We're doing pretty much very much similar things. What we're doing was we carry different clients. So at the end of the day, it is very possible that there'll be some consolidation in the sector, and that we may actually even reach some kind of agreement with them in order to grow together, which will probably make more sense. Our aim is not obviously to stay in Spain, but to grow internationally, and to do so with the help of the brands that we have already signed, and others that we are working on launching in the next few months. So yeah, obviously to expand internationally, and but if we do it by ourselves or joining forces with other incumbents, and that's still to be seen.
Paulos, thank you so much. Please stay with us because we are back soon.
Sure, thank you.
I'm moving to our third founder, Anthony Abel, founder of Trust Me, TPX Property, headquartered in London, United Kingdom, fintech, proptech, real estate, pre-sales, A round, something between 30 million in pounds. How's it going, Anthony?
Thanks, Max. Very well.
Thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an intro, and we go straight to TPX
Property Exchange. So for all of you just tuning in, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Anthony Abel here. I'm the CEO, founder of TPX Property Exchanges. We're based in London. I'm a serial financier and entrepreneur. I've run funds. I've worked in the regulated environment as well as the unregulated environment. And my main job is building tech companies. And the fun fact is I was once an Olympic coach. Our job here right now at the TPX Property Exchanges is turning property, the stuff we all live in, real estate, into liquid tradable asset classes. And in the current economic environment that we're in, we believe that the title certificates that we create, that we trade in our systems, are inflation resistant. And we've created them in a form to trade as money itself. So the headline to what we are doing is, we believe, out of London and launching in a series of exchanges around the world over the next few months, we've created inflation resistant money. So what would we do? What we do is we take the properties that you live in, or you work in, or you farm, or that you produce your goods and services, and we fractionalize them. But we're fractionalizing the title of the property, not a share of a REIT, not a share of a company that owns it. And fundamentally, under law, that allows us to create titles of property, and titles of property are not regulated activities, buying and selling. So this enables us to get to global liquidity for your property as such on our exchange. And so each title is certificate that we create is unique. It's compliant with banks and institutional use. We've come through this process via the Financial Conduct Authority here in the United Kingdom, with the Bank of England, with our land registry, and with inevitably our taxman. And we take those properties and we put them into both the institutional environment, and as you can see here on your screens, into the retail environment. We allow anybody with a mobile phone to buy 10, 15, 1,000, several $1,000s worth of property directly on their mobile phone, and to be registered with the title of that property. And the law relating to title of property is much stronger than it is in security law. You physically own a piece of that property under law and under the nation state laws in which you purchase that property. And we've made the chains incredibly fast. We've ensured that they can move. We use blockchain and AMM technologies. And we've made sure that these chains can move at 10 millisecond end-to-end transfer of asset at over 270,000 transactions per second, which currently outperforms the Visa transaction network, which is operating around 25,000 transactions a second. It operates with your bank accounts, and we're looking to take advantage of what is called the tokenization, or the digital asset economy. Some of you who are watching this will be familiar with the Robinhood type apps, so the eToros, where they fractionalize shares. We see a lot more of that in the markets in the years to come. It's starting to gather a pace now. The issue with a lot of those is that they're somewhat restrictive in the way they operate, because they're operating for contracts for differences in many cases. Our exchanges operate with real world legal assets, the title of property, and that's very different. And of course, property is a very big asset class. There's over 326 trillion worth of property in the world. There's plenty for us to mine in the future if you want to look at it that way. We do this city by city. Over the next 18 months, we're launching 20 exchanges. The first one is in London, and we're doing so under our regulator and under our Bank of England. Each of these markets have some rather indicative numbers and very interesting growth rates. So if you are part of that digital asset economy and you're working with the blockchain economies, the automated market makers, the Uniswaps, all of these features that we use within our own technologies, you can see some fairly significant growth rates appearing in those. What's very different for us is that we're about the intrinsic asset, the actual physical title of property itself, not the extrinsic asset that many might be familiar with from the crypto world. Our property has value because it has property, because people use it, they live in it, they work in it. And those have a fairly consistent supply and demand curve. And this is part of the reason why we can outperform, we believe, inflation in the way that we're operating our exchanges and the assets that we hold on it. In terms of the exchanges, most of the others who we've seen in the marketplace in terms of a competitive analysis are tokenizing a property. But the phrase we love to use is the tokenization of a property does not a market make. If you do not have the access to the global marketplace and the global liquidity that comes with that marketplace, and you cannot apply it to the distinct, separate, and individual properties that exist on those property exchanges, you don't really have a market. You have a very restricted market. And this is where TPX has broken that particular barrier by making sure that the title certificates that we create are recognized by our regulators, our banks, our central banks, and our governments. So inflation-resistant money, it's a very attractive proposition. We have technical grade competency. We have cryptologists from US government employed. We have about 39 full-time equivalents working on this project at the moment. We use military grade security within our systems. We take the nation state threat as well as the local hacker very seriously indeed. And we have insurance for that. The insurances are looking at us as an A+ rating in terms of the way that the title certificates work on our exchanges. So Universal Trust Me, we're 100% owned. Universal Trust Me Engine is the parent company. TPX Property Exchange is a subsidiary. We own 100% of all the subsidiaries currently. Each exchange is designed to roll out in its own right, and then we mandate ourselves to take a minority interest so the locals can run their local exchange for their local benefit. We're in a pre-Series A. Series A, we're raising 30. We have a first close of 5. That's what we're working on at the moment. And our current pre-money share valuation based upon the monies we received to date is 41 million pounds sterling. We've had previous funding. We started the company in 16. We focused on property in 17, and we've been building out the technologies, largely bootstrapping and building it ourselves up until this point. So this is our first significant external round. That's me. That's us. That's what we're doing. If you're looking for liquid property, come and talk to me.
Thank you so much. I mean, so close to finance. I'm very happy to see something similar. But let me ask you, what's the relation between the real value of the asset? Let's say I have my house, right? My property is 1 million worthy. And after I want to come to you, what's the relationship you with the owner, the real owner, the legal owner for the council? If I'm talking to London, for example. There are certain rules.
I don't want to go too much into this. This is very carefully defined with our banks, with our regulators, with our land registries. There is always a 51% deemed majority holder, is the best way to look at it. They can still have a finance product behind them. But what's fundamentally different this time is that 49%, the balance of the property, so as such. That's now liquid and tradable asset class. We anticipate any property listing on our exchange should make a 3 to 8% premium over like for like because they're going to our exchange and because they're now liquid. In many ways, we're turning your house into an ATM machine. So whenever you wish to raise more cash or capital, you cut out all the intermediaries, you're going directly to retail OTC and to the institutions that sit behind what we're doing, and you can raise the money from our point of view instantly there. Each exchange, each property that lists on each exchange has its own Uniswap or AMM, automated market makers, for those that are familiar with them. And that gives 24/7 liquidity for each of those properties. So literally our 10 millisecond transaction time means that you can take a property and use it to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks. We've designed them specifically to work across the payment platforms because we realized very quickly on is that inflation-resistant assets such as property converted at the moment of need into fiat and converted incredibly quickly is a very attractive asset for many. So we anticipate the volumes we're moving on the payment platforms will be 20 or 30 times anything that we move on the exchanges.
So if I understand well, if I have a property, I need some to liquidate a part of my property because I need some cash. I can come to exchange and create more. Let's say let's talk about more security or which are worthy something, all right, and trading them on your platform, which means selling and leaving others to buy and sell.
Yeah, so you list with you IPO with us, initial property offering. You go through a listing process, search, survey. We as an exchange do all the search and survey. We insure the property as it goes through that process. We maintain and monitor it. We surveil it. We make sure that the asset maintains the state in which the investors invested in. There's a 51% controller. Let's say you're retaining ownership of your property or someone wishes else to do it. It's either or. Then you can maintain ownership of it, but you no longer have the cost of the 49%, the balance, let's say, if you owned 100%. Or if you have a mortgage, you can go mortgage free if your LTV is below 49%, loan to value is below 49%. And for the young, which we're very proud of, young now have the real opportunity to buy a house at 51% of its previous asking price and to live in that house. They have occupancy, they own it, they have all the rights of living there, but they no longer have to find the funding for the balance of the 49, because that 49% we realize is very essential to the financial system.
How long is my ownership if I'm going to buy?
As long as you wish. So when you buy into it, you hold it for as long as you wish. It's now a liquid tradable asset class. You can either take it as what we call a capital value asset, and you effectively co-own the house with the existing property owners, obviously rights and conditions that apply here. Or you can take the rental share. It's designed as a Sharia compliant product. So you take a monthly rental share, less the administration charge or the management fee of that company or organization or owner managing that property, and you take the rental share alongside that owner. So you also have a yield that you can generate off the back of this.
And how many exchange you want to create worldwide? I suppose you want to go. Let's say
we are a SaaS model, so we're software scalable, and we're also doing an Uber Blitz. So from our model, we're starting to roll out these exchanges over the next 6 weeks, the first ones, and then you'll hear an announcement from us every 3 to 6 weeks of every new exchange that then follows. Effectively, for local operators, they buy an exchange in a box, and we provide the global liquidity.
So the 30 million fundraising, to make more clear, is for what?
The rollout of the initial exchanges. Luckily, our regulators looking at this have already told us that here in the UK and other regulators that we've had our initial conversations with have indicated to us is that they have no primary legislation by which they can regulate us, because property title is not a regulated activity. And we do a peer-to-peer platform in the first generation of the launches of the exchanges. So our 30 million is designed to launch it. We don't have capital adequacy. It's designed to start the exchanges, to get them up and running in the various locations that we first chosen, the 20 cities. And then at that stage, at a certain point in time, the local teams have to finance their exchanges. And sometimes we help with that, or they pay their own way, but we seed those exchanges.
Anthony, thank you so much. Please stay with us because we are all back soon, as I'm moving to our last but absolutely not the least founder. Kashif Khan, founder, Motion Gesture, Canada, Toronto. We cover almost all the globe today. AI, computer vision, gesture recognition, deep tech. Pre-Series A around $500,000 USD. We must say that you already have 1 million of close for your A round. You're just bridging the last $500,000. How's it going, Kashif?
Very good. Nice to meet you, Mas.
My pleasure.
The idea behind Motion Gestures is very simple. Almost every decade, there is a new human-machine interface. At the height of the PC era, it was mouse and GUI. With launch of smartphone and tablets, it became touch. Fast forward another decade, with advances in AI, it became AI-based voice recognition. Given the ubiquity of cameras and the increasing sophistication of AI, we believe the next major interface is camera-based hand tracking. This is a fundamentally important idea. People communicate with their voice and people work with their hands. That's why voice recognition took off in such a big way, and that's why we expect hand tracking based systems to take off in an equally big way. We provide breakthrough AI software for camera-based hand tracking gesture recognition. I can make this tall claim because we have solved major industry problems as they pertain to accuracy, deployment time, deployment cost, and hardware. Specifically, we have increased recognition accuracy regardless of the complexity of hand movements to 100%. No matter how you move your hand, no matter what gestures you perform, we can track and recognize them with 100% accuracy. Second, we have reduced deployment time and cost by a factor of 10x. And then we have completely eliminated depth camera dependence and the need for expensive hardware such as hardware accelerators. The software can be used in any industry for any contactless application. Let me give you a demo of our software. Notice a few things. As soon as the hand comes in camera view, we're able to detect it and paste a bounding box around it. We are also able to ID the hand, provide its relative size, angle at which it's being held. And then we impose what you see all these small dots, a 21 joints based hand skeleton on each hand. Each dot represents a joint in the hand skeleton. And for these joints, we provide positional coordinates, X, Y, Z in real time, which allows for precise tracking. And third thing, as you see my director of business development doing, is gesture recognition. Whether it is a drawing gesture, like him drawing an @ sign, or a tapping gesture, swiping gesture, we're able to recognize it and report it. And we're so sophisticated, even when hands overlap, we're able to track them on a joint skeleton basis. And this we can do with ordinary cameras and ordinary processors. There are a wide variety of applications. Let's take a look at automotive. So you could be using it for automotive exterior applications, such as opening a trunk, keyless entry, or anything inside the car, such as interacting with the infotainment system, navigation system. Remember, cars are becoming mobile platforms for streaming digital content. This can also be combined with voice recognition. You could operate and close, if you will, sunroofs, operate windows, operate wipers, it doesn't matter. Any function inside the car. There are digital screens now on the back seats of cars. You can interact, you can play video games, interact with video games, with climate control system, all natural contactless interaction. So there are as many applications as there are ideas. We are now engaged with companies, with OEMs in more than 25 major verticals. In essence, camera-based contactless interaction touches almost every aspect of a consumer's daily life. Whether you're interacting with a banking machine, using household appliances, inside an elevator, pumping gas at a gas station, at a retail store, wearing smart glasses, operating a vending machine, you name it. We are now engaged with 136 OEMs in 25 plus sectors around the world. Quite literally, 25% of our business is in Europe, led by Germany and France, 25% in North America, which is almost entirely United States, and 50% in the Far East, specifically Korea, Japan, and China. So all major developed economies. You can get a feel of the caliber of companies we are working with, not speaking to, working with from this slide, like Mercedes, McDonald's, Dell, Tesla, Panasonic, Nintendo, Samsung. So notice two things. First of all, each of these companies is a major OEM, almost top OEM or the top OEM in its sector. Second, none of these companies have anything in common with each other. I mean, McDonald's in restaurants, Mercedes makes cars, Diebold Nixdorf makes banking machines, Nintendo makes games. Yet they're all looking at our software, working with our software, because they view this camera-based contactless interaction as the next major wave, the way voice recognition was 10 years ago. It's a wave that's being formed, and we intend to dominate this going forward. We are in full commercial production mode, so this is not about requiring money for tech development. The tech was developed over 4 years in strict stealth mode. Now it has been productized, and it is in commercial production. We have a $100 million pipeline. We generated $1 million of revenue last year, are on track to generate $5 million this year. The money is coming from digital signage contracts, and we are now going into production with automotive. We have raised a total of $7 million in 3 rounds since startup launch 5 years ago. Only 5% of our capital has come from Canadian investors. We are a truly global company. So 95% of the capital from outside of Canada, including Japan, Korea, China, Germany, Nordic region, California, and Canada, and some from India as well. The company is based in Canada. Some of our investors are very high profile, such as Mr. Alan Miner, who has been recognized on Forbes Midas list as one of the world's top investors and is famous for building Oracle Japan and Salesforce Japan. We are currently doing a pre-series A round at $30 million pre-money valuation. We have already raised $1.5 million and have capacity for $500,000 more. This money will be used to augment the marketing and engineering support team. We are already speaking to California VCs for $10 million at $100 million valuation. I repeat, already working on Series A for $10 million at $100 million valuation pre-money. So this small 500,000 is a stepping stone. We are experienced entrepreneurs, not kids out of college, with deep expertise in AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning for embedded deployments, not on the cloud, working on the chip. Now, embedded is as fundamentally different from cloud as night is from day. On chip, every byte, every MIP counts. And we are pros in human-machine interface technologies such as signal processing, sensor fusion, to be able to interpret output of sensors just the way the brain interprets output of the 5 senses. Our previous startup was the first company in the world to support full natural language understanding, which means ability to understand conversational speech on a $1 chip. We exited that at $120 million, and now we want to revolutionize AI-based gesture recognition for embedded platforms and build this into a unicorn. We are graduates of top universities in North America and are a team of 10 people who are PhDs or equivalent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kapi. I know you since you started. We've been knowing each other for the last 4 or 5 years when you were developing stealth mode, the technology. You've done such a great job. I'm very happy. You are working with so many already OEMs, but my question is, must be some sectors that will benefit most from you than others.
You're absolutely right. We are not a consumer company. We're a B2B company. So the short answer to your question is we don't want to target any particular sector. The approach we have used is a sector agnostic approach because people work with their hands, remember, and communicate with their voice. So wherever hands are used, they can utilize this technology. So we have reached out to major OEMs in 25 plus sectors. It just so happens that the chips have fallen in 2 main sectors: digital signage, which is about 25% of our traction, which refers to any industry such as retail, hospitality, travel, healthcare, where a digital screen is used to project information, like at an airport check-in kiosk, like a terminal, in a window of a retail store. And another 25% in automotive. So digital signage and automotive are the 2 main areas where we're getting traction. But there are other areas like appliances, like metaverse, augmented reality, smart glasses, where information is being projected in front of you.
Let's keep more in the gesture and talking more in details when it comes to automotive, which I do believe will benefit a lot from what you're doing. You're already talking with many OEMs from the automobile industry. Now, how real and how can I say, using my hands and after using the gesture recognition, how effective will be one day if you're already there?
We're already there. So this is an excellent question. So first of all, we are not in gesture recognition, despite the company's name being Motion Gestures. We are in hand tracking business. We work with our hands. Gesture recognition is just a small part. Like during normal interaction, if somebody enters into my room right now, I could motion them to keep quiet. I could point them to a particular seat, chair to sit down. That's gesture recognition. Hand tracking is no matter what I'm doing with my hands, a system needs to be able to track it using that joint skeleton, 21 positions on each hand. So keep this in mind. So gesture recognition is built on top of hand tracking. That's from technology point of view. Now, second thing to keep in mind, and I'll answer your question, is cars are now becoming a mobile platform for digital content being streamed into it. And this is going to accelerate even tenfold as cars become fully autonomous, meaning cars basically become an extension of your living room. So what do you do when cars are driving themselves and mostly driving themselves? You have a wide variety of digital content being streamed in, and it's more and more sophisticated. So you need an equally sophisticated interface to be able to point to something, select, move, grab, etc. That's why the pickup from car automotive OEMs is so strong for cars that they're designing to launch in 3 to 4 years from now.
I mean, you created a technology can allow many to use it, right? Gesture recognition and as you say, hand tracking. It's pretty complicated, very much complicated. One of the most complicated so far I've seen. So make it simple and available to many. That's what you're doing above the others, right?
So there are two things we are doing. You're absolutely right from the key point of view. The first view is we have to solve major industry problems. And the first major problem is the accuracy of the software. You need to be able to track it very accurately. I'll give you an example from voice recognition. Why it initially failed until about 10 years ago. The system would prompt a user, hello, how can I help you? And you would speak normally, naturally, you know, my phone is not working. I'm not able to send an email and I got this stuff. And the system would listen to you and say, sorry, could you please repeat? And you would say, what happened? You would try again. Still, could you please say it again? And then you would say technical support. So you would dumb yourself down and speak in like baby talk. That's why that's no good. So if you are going to allow people to use hands freely, just the way you've said, you need to be able to understand and interpret exactly what they're doing first time around. So that's the first problem we have solved. That's the major problem. And companies are very protective of their brands. They want to make sure consumers' experience is right up there with what they expect from a Mercedes, for example. The second is, okay, you have solved this problem, but if it's going to cost for me too much to deploy this in terms of hardware costs, I need a $500 camera, I need a $100 chip. Thank you, no. It stays in your lab. So we have solved that problem, that you can now do this with ordinary webcam cameras and you can deploy this on ordinary few dollar chip, not expensive depth cameras. So the deployment cost has been dramatically reduced. The accuracy has been dramatically increased. And then there's a development time issue because this is a machine learning system. If you're going to spend 6 months, 8 months collecting data to train the system, thank you, no. So we have developed algorithms which can generate the data synthetically, and also developed new class of AI algorithms that can generate thousands of times from a small amount of data. So what used to take 6 months can now be done in 6 days. So this is why it's a game changer. And that's why all these companies are interested.
I mean, I believe your technology can even one day help the people that unfortunately can't talk. But that's another story. That's a niche application. For example, with handicaps, we're application agnostic. If you permit me, I mean, I'm a big fan of what's known as the shovels strategy during California gold rush in late 19th century. The people who made the most money were not those who moved to California to prospect for gold, but those who went into the business to provide products and services to gold prospectors. So our job is to provide the best shovel at the best price. You prospect for gold at your own risk, at your own cost. So in this context, we provide the silver bullet, the software as a B2B company that any OEM can utilize on a turnkey basis. Simply drop it into the platform to enable contactless interaction. And then the marketing, branding, user experience is up to them. Kashif, thank you very much. I stay because we are bringing all the other funders right now all back. Paul is here, Anthony is here, and I think we are waiting for Simon. Here we are. So as we always close, yeah, guys, 30 seconds starting from the last, but absolutely not the least, Kashif, and say why investors should invest in your startup, your team. Kashif, why?
Camera-based contactless interaction is the next human-machine interface. It's today where voice recognition was 10, 12 years ago. It's headed for explosive growth. We are targeting a market that is expected by industry analysts to be 70 billion by 2030, growing at 25% CAGR. And we expect to dominate this space by being the go-to company for contactless interaction and become a unicorn. We are already working on Series A at a substantially higher valuation than this round. So there's also a very good short-term capital appreciation potential for investors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kashif. Polo.
Hi. We've just landed one of our biggest clients, which is Mango, and with them we will be growing not just in Spain but also internationally. Our aim is to become Europe's biggest technology and logistics provider for circular fashion. And yeah, in order to do that, we need to internalize our IT team and hire some more positions in our B2B sales team. And we are eager to find investors who want to join us.
Thank you so much, Polo. Anthony, please.
Yeah, Anthony Abel. So we're TPX and we make property liquid. If you have property that you want to see liquid and tradable and turned into money itself, we're the guys who are leading this race globally. And in a high inflation storm, I can't think of a better place to put your money into property. We're the guys.
Even without inflation. Simon, please close today pitch day. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Simon Schmiederer. Yeah, with Zone 14, we provide data in amateur and grassroots football. It's only the beginning there, so our technology is also able to go into other team sports as well. And I think it's an amazing market to be in right now, because amateur sports data is still something a lot of people are underestimating. And with our technology, we can basically serve this whole market.
Simon, Anthony, Polo, Kashif, thank you so much for coming today. You made the day. And I really thank you for your time and coming here and sharing with us your great ventures, which is some of them already taking off and taking to the next level. I really thank you all the audience. Everyone is watching us today, and we are back next Tuesday, always 5 p.m. UK time, again with the other great daring founders. Thank you again very much, and a good evening, at night or morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.